Okay, it's time to rebuild. I've prepped the engine, I've cleaned all the surfaces, done all the measurements, everything looks good, all in spec. Here's my cylinder, which I sent away to get honed. Give it a good clean, looks like new. So I've washed it out with warm water, soapy warm water, get any debris that was in there. Now, here's my vertex piston. Now I'm just working out how to put the rings on, and I think I'll be putting the piston in first, into the barrel first, and then install it barrel and all on the conrod. Okay, so I've just got to make sure, there's the arrow there, I've got to make sure that's pointing forward. And the rings go on right. So I'm just making sense of this, where the ring end gaps have got to be. Okay, so I'm going to get started. This is the spacer here. Now, got to be very careful with this, that it doesn't overlap. So you don't want it overlapping. So that's in. It's a really delicate little thing. Okay. That looks good. Now it doesn't say where the gap of that's supposed to be, so I don't think it matters. So second ring, spacer, yeah, don't worry about that. Okay, now the little side rings. Now there is no, I don't think it matters, there's no markings on these, so I'll just put them in. One goes on the bottom. Compression ring. Make sure the writing's on the top. This one's got a little N. So that's the top. Just put it. Okay, let's trip to it. Don't know, like that. Very easy. And that's in. Okay, now where does that gap go? So, have the gap. The gap of the circ clip, it's got to be either up or down, not to the side. I think I'll have it up. Alright, that's the way to do it. Okay. Come on, pop in there. Gotcha. Slide that in. Okay. Now all I gotta do is put the other side in. Okay. Nice and secure. Alright, now back to the rings, make sure I haven't moved. One gap there, one gap there, another gap there. That looks all spaced out pretty good. that's it. Let's put the piston in. So that's right, so it goes there. So that is correct in that way. Very good. Okay, there's the end gap of the spacer. That's not overlapping, that's good. Okay. So, all in, nothing's grabbing. I think that's it. Okay. Just got the piston into the barrel. That's the way I'm going to install it. I'm going to put it into the barrel first, and then place it on the conrod and put the pin in. Now I've been doing a lot of reading on the old way I used to install piston and rings. I used to smother oil everywhere, but they reckon that you should do a dry install is better. I don't know, there's lots of debate for and against, so I really don't know. So I am going to go in between, and I kept the piston, kept the rings, didn't oil them. All I did was smother a bit of, just a tiny bit of oil just around the rim as I installed the piston. And it's sort of in between, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, I've staggered the gaps. I don't want to pull this piston back out, but I've staggered the gaps, the ring gaps. About, I don't know, one gap's there, another gap's there, and another gap's there. So they're all staggered nicely, it all fitted in well. All I've got to do now is fit it on. I'm going to try and do it on my own, but I'll probably need a second pair of hands. But I'll see how I go. So it's all been dried, all nice and dry. And I'm ready to go. So carefully get the cam chain through the top, tape it up here with a bit of tape, make sure that you've got the chain tension through there. You need 2 sets of hands here. Okay, now I'm going to go around the other side and try and get the circlip in. Oh, yes, that's looking good. Give it a click. Come on, where's that click? That's it. Click. Looks good. That was easy. Much easier way to do this. I recommend you put the piston in the cylinder before you put it on the bike, on the conrod. That was much easier than what I remember doing. Putting the piston on the conrod first, then trying to get the rings into the barrel. Well, you take your time, make sure the gaps are right. Oh, it slides in nice and easy. Okay, now get rid of all these papers. Gonna slide it down. I feel like I've forgotten something, you know? I don't know what it could be. Let me take the... That's it. Done. That was way easier this time. Looks good. Give it a few little kicks. I was told there's a bit of wobble as normal because the cylinder's tapered up the top. And it's a forged piston, so it needs a bit more room. Anyway, God, that's done. Okay, so I just put this little bolt on here just to hold the cylinder in place while I just check it. So what I'm going to do is just, I've taken the bolt out that holds it top dead centre. I'm going to just run it while I'm holding the chain tensioner. Just run the piston just to make sure it's all moving nice and smooth, which I hope you can see. Looks like it's doing. Get all the oil residue there, because I do want to try and use a dry start to see how that goes. Okay, this is the day. Finally, I can put the thing back together. So, piston is in, barrel's been serviced, honed, I've checked, double checked. I've checked too many times, it's driving me crazy. So it's time just to put the head on and bolt everything back together. Now, this piston is a size B, so it's one up from the original. And I did notice a bit of wobble. Right. The rings are good, they're all spec, the gap is good. Maybe fractionally on the small side, but it's within the specifications. But I was told these forged pistons need a bit more room, and it's tapered up the top, so as it goes down, I checked it with filler gauges, it does get tighter. So hopefully all is well. I've given the head a service. So I've put new valve stem seals in, clean the valves, and I did lap them. I know they're titanium, but I was told I know there's no coating on them, so it should be okay. The coated ones you should not lap. These are pure titanium, no coating. So I gave them a light hand lap with very fine paste stuff here. So hopefully that all seals up nice and everything goes right. So I'm just about to put the new head gasket on. And I'll go take it easy, step by step, making sure I do it all right. Alright, let's put this head gasket on. Alright, put the little spacers in now, carefully without dropping the damn things. this was a bit difficult. Not much room here at all. Be careful. Just take your time. And be careful. The bolts on. Okay, you've got to oil these up. Oil them up and drop them in. Okay, now I'm going to start to torque the head bolts, starting from this one here. First, go to 40. I'll just tighten up a little bit each time. Alright, double check. That's 40. Alright, we'll start now. Okay, that's a clack. Now we go to 50. Okay, that's it. Okay, now the head's on, all torqued. We do these 3 screws, 1, 2, 3. Doesn't say to Loctite them or oil them, it just says torque them to 10 Nm. So that's what I'll do. Next is the guardrail. This you do have to Loctite. Also 10M, I think. 10 Nm. Okay, that's that. Good, good, good. Next, the shims. Alright, let's do the shims. So, left exhaust. Just hoping nothing has changed. Left exhaust. lucky last is the one I had to change because it was 0.09, which was out of spec. It's got to be between 0.10 and 0.15. So I've got a new shim, so it should be around 0.13 now. So I've got a smaller shim at 2.36. Now, the bridge, the harbour bridge is next. Oh, and don't forget these fuckers. That's what I mustn't forget. The spacer goes here. Drop those in, it's a bloody disaster. Yes, 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 a disaster. On the roll now. This has been a long, slow process. Yeah, I haven't seen you guys for a while. Hey, how you going? Ready to go on? Okay, so I've left everything there. Bolts there, so that can go up to go on later. Oh, I've got another couple of things there too. Good. Good. Okay. These can go. Cams can go there. That's it, no spaces there. No. I didn't service this. You could take these jets out and clean out, but this is not an old bike. All should be okay. Didn't even clean the old oil off it. Hold these things up like that and plop it into place. First I've got to get these screws out. Make sure these things here don't slide out. These followers or lifters, whatever they are. Little rod there. Just got to go through. One seems to be in further than the other though. What's the go there? Nice to be an octopus. There's an extra set of hands. Okay, let's get the cam chain and rest it over the bridge. Okay, make sure the shims are still there. And they are. Now you can lick. Okay. Bottom bridge is in. Now I've just got to put these bolts in. Okay, so oil them up and torque them to, on this bike, 15 Nm. Okay, now to put the cams in. Alright, we're starting off with the intake. Okay, just lube up. Where's the marking? It's got to line this mark up now. This sounds like it's going to be the tricky part to do. Now I think this is going to be the tricky part. Where is the mark? Oh, I've got to fucking tie those things away. They're annoying the shit out of me. That's better. So, I finally got it. So there's 2 marks. One there. They're sort of like facing each other along here. Just takes a bit of fiddling, a lot of fiddling around actually to get them right. Just double check it, just stick a little screwdriver or something into the chain tensioner hole and give it tension it up just to make sure it's lined up when they're tensioned. And it is, so they're lined up and they're along that ridge there. So let's say that is right. Okay. Now just shoot out of it some more. And then we'll put the top ridge on. So that's the bike back together. Unfortunately, some of the video files I took after I put on the bridge, the cam bridge, got corrupted, so I've lost all the footage I had. But it's basically straightforward after that. You just have to, after you put the lower cam bridge in, you put the after you had the cams in and it was all timed, got the timing lines right, you just put the top bridge on, and I think 8 bolts, torque them crosswise, and that was it. Just a bit more oil on top and put your cover on. Oh, the footage of the tensioner too I lost. So yeah, so your chain tensioner, this is a Dirt Tricks chain tensioner, so there was no mucking around with it. You just bolt it in, put the spring in and tighten it up, easy. The stock cam chain is a bit more tricky trickier to install. I won't go into that though. Yeah, then do that and put your cover on, 3 bolts. Just lowered this down. I actually heated this up. The intake manifold, whatever it is, whatever this plastic thing is called here. Heated that up with a hairdryer, warm head or hot air, and then lowered this thing, and it just went straight in. Tightened up the screws, bolted up the exhaust, put the shock back in, put all other little bits and wires and thingamajigs, put the seat back on, the tank covers seat, and that was it.